Old business, yes. So, what do we have to add one thing, if I may? Yes. In December 2017, the township passed an ordinance establishing a volunteer service credit program for tax credits for volunteer members of the Lower Frederick Volunteer Fire Company. And the Board of Supervisors subsequently passed a resolution to administer that. Now we've created forms that are necessary for it. Tom Gammon has provided to the manager a list of those who qualify. So at this point, requesting a motion to approve tax credits for the volunteers as presented by Tom Gammon, conditioned on notarized signature on the eligibility list and conditioned on each of the applicants signing the volunteer form that has now been created.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any questions? A vote? Aye.
Aye.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Public comment.
Bob Burns, Centerville Road. Do we have any anticipation on Babington Riverside former sanitary sewer collection system at this time?
We don't know yet.
Nothing yet? No easement signed or anything of that nature?
No, they have the name.
But they just haven't signed it, so that's correct. And in the past, I had asked you guys about how that would be funded, primarily the question about the benefit assessment. And last week I had a chance to just briefly speak to Andy Belvoir. Hopefully, he can enlighten the residents and the board on how that would work.
In response to that, not yet, because that's supposed to bring the cart before the horse. I understand we want to get the easements in line, and then we can start having me run the clock, if you will, and start addressing some of those issues.
Okay, and then the one other question I've been asking since Darren Peck was here, the 2 point whatever it was that was left over, 2.2, 2.3, that was left over from the previous loan that had to be drawn December 1st, as to whether that was put into a higher interest rate account, since that project's not going to be happening anytime soon, or is that just in a standard account?
No, that's being looked at now. Okay, it was just discussed, so
Thanks.
Thank you. Any more public comment? Yes.
Phil Smith, 205 Gerald Road, and this is to the Board of Supervisors, but perhaps supported by Andy. There was a situation where there were in-kind donations that were given to the township to help support some of these projects. How would that work, and what are the legal ramifications for doing that sort of thing?
In the context of,
The
say,
CBS Park,
or
for
what have you.
instance. Yes, I mean, if individuals wanted to contribute to that, I think we did something like that with the dog park. How does that work?
Well, I think that the township doors are always open to receiving contributions. So, and I don't know of any restriction.
Okay.
Township accepting contributions, be it cash or in
So
kind.
you don't have to develop an account as such for a particular project. You could just say, by way of a letter, that I would like to contribute something towards that, and this would be earmarked for this particular project. Is that correct?
I think that's the way it would normally work, yes. But along the lines of, as pointed out, I think it helps to have a listing of where the monies are going.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I think just in general, we're a small town. If anyone wants to make a donation of their time or money or something else to make this township a better place to live, I think we would all be very welcome to that.
We're going to be relying on volunteers for planting and a lot of the groundwork and prep work.
Any more public comment? Yes.
Sorry, Dave Lindsay, 231 Goshen. Sorry, Dave Lindsay, 231 Goshen Road. Just had two questions. There was some damage done to a slide at the Goshen Road, Township top plot. I saw that the slide was removed. I was just wondering if there was any plans to make any replacements to that slide or what the plans were.
As a plan,
Go ahead, sir.
our roadmaster, we had to make it, as I reported to you, we're either going to fix it or remove it.
Right,
And obviously, we couldn't fix it.
that's what I figured.
Yeah, so we weren't, we were thinking of putting tape around it and whatnot, but those measures were simply not practical. So the safest way to handle it was to completely remove the slide itself. I instructed Tom to start finding a replacement apparatus, and Tom's working on that in between plowing snow. So we hope to get something for you. We hope to get something for you sooner rather than later.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know if they were going to replace it or not, so I just wanted to ask.
Absolutely, we're going to replace it.
Okay. And then my second question was just, due to us not being successful and able to put a stop sign at Grimley and Goshen, I was just going to ask the board to consider having the traffic calming committee look into seeing if we can put speed bumps or something in the neighborhood to deter some of the speed.
I think we would have to take that into consideration as well. Okay.
And if we could, there's just a few areas in the whole township that I think would benefit from the traffic calming committee. If we could have, because I think it's difficult for residents to come out to every single meeting, especially for those of us that have small children that have a lot of concerns of safety. So if anybody could help assist us, speak on our behalf, and be looking into these, that would be really beneficial.
Well, we're very fortunate to have a township manager, and anybody can call him or send him an email at any time. And then some people do send in letters about traffic issues. In fact, I saw one recently about speeding on some township. So that's always open to anyone to reach out directly to the manager, and then they can forward it to the appropriate person and we can discuss it at the board. I just want to address the issue of speed humps. We have the 2 speed humps we believe that are going in Village Drive. So I just wanted to propose that let's see how those work out, because this is the first time we'll have speed humps in the community before we look at others. Now, if those are successful, then that would certainly be a good project to consider elsewhere. But we haven't put those in yet, so let's see how those work out, and that'll be a good test for the rest of us.
And I guess my only concern is with that is, we all know that speed bumps slows down traffic, right? I mean, that's really what their purpose is. So now that we have those, I guess what would be the concerns? How, I guess, would they not work out?
We don't know. There aren't any yet. I'm just saying we haven't even put them in yet, so we don't know how they'll work out. So let's wait until they go in and get some feedback.
Because I guess just, from our community perspective, they've got stop signs, and now they're getting speed bumps.
Humps.
Humps, I guess, is the technical term, because they're larger. I guess it's just, if we could, I know it's a very long process that took to get there, that if we could start at least looking into seeing, are there other areas that could benefit from those? So then that way, if they are beneficial, we could move a little bit quicker on getting those in other areas.
Yeah, I'm concerned that every single street in this community is going to want speed humps because people speed on every street, including where I live. There's the 25-mile-per-hour zone. But I wanted to segue onto another issue, which is the sidewalks. Is that we have a lot of areas in this community that would benefit from this attention, and it would be useful to look at it in a more comprehensive way. So I would encourage you to work on a comprehensive plan, because infrastructure is one of the things they're looking at. So that might be a really good opportunity for you or people who are concerned to see how this community will look in the future and ensure that it looks the way you want it to. So I'd encourage anyone who's concerned about traffic or infrastructure or roads or sidewalks to get onto that working group, and then we can have an impact.
I think it's hard. It's hard working on the 3. To find the time, as you noticed, I came in just now. So I think your voices could be heard without large commitments of time, it would be just beneficial for the whole community.
Well, these working groups will meet when the people on them can meet. It doesn't have to be during the day or during the week. That's completely up to you. So you may want to reach out to Crystal. I think she's sitting in the back, and she can tell you more about that and how you can get involved and whatever time you have, whatever interest. I'm hearing that might be a good way for you to get involved, because rather than looking at just one issue, this is going to impact on what our community looks like in the future, not just tomorrow, but next year, I think 5 to 10 years.
I understand that. I'm just saying is that if we could just look into them or at least continue conversation for us, is what we're asking.
If I may, there are other measures, traffic calming measures, other than speed humps. Actually, I believe it's the speed table that we're looking at. Maybe it is the speed hump. I have to defer to Carol on that. But there's signage, striping, chicanes. There's actually the community that I work for some time now. The process that we used, we would ask that the residents fill out forms. We have them on the website. We would forward those forms on to our police department. They have a traffic safety unit.
That'd be great.
They would consult with, we had a traffic engineer, or we had a Carol, so to speak, who would reach into what essentially is a traffic calming toolkit. And PennDOT has a number of regulations, measures that we have to refer to in these various circumstances. So I've heard the board time and time again, they're committed to making areas like this safe. We all have to come to some conclusion as to what makes the most sense for everybody. But I want to impress upon you there are many other options. I have to also candidly say to everyone that in the 25 years I've been the township manager at Lower Mayfield, we never put in speed humps, speed tables. We have employed the measures that I just described, and we did so successfully. I want to emphasize successfully. And it was not uncommon for folks to come to us with, we want a speed table. And when we would engage the neighborhood that was to be affected, actually the neighborhood rejected the speed tables and went with options B, C, D, which would be the ones that I just described to you. So there are other opportunities. I want to impress upon you, there are, and those, and we have employed them in my town successfully. So I want to leave you with that thought and just respectfully expand your thinking to that there may be other possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I think our community is rooted to one solution. I just think that we're looking for a solution.
Yeah.
And I think that it's very difficult to get anybody from our community to come out here with me, even about the topics that they're extremely passionate about. And a lot of it comes down to our time, and I made a choice tonight that I wanted to put my kids to bed, and I didn't get here on time. So that's, I think, a lot of our choices. And I just don't want to see that we have to be here every week or every month or twice a month to be able to have that concern heard. And that's why if there's means, either the traffic calming committee or to develop something with our website to address some of these concerns within the community. I know there's still a school bus sign on St. Gabriel Road. There's a Spring Mountain Road in front of the church. People go fast. There's a lot of different things that I think we could do to just make our community safer. That are basics. Not basics as in, like, there's little things that we can do that can make a big difference.
You're right.
So I think I don't know what those answers are. I haven't been working in townships for a while, so any knowledge and experience that you can bring for a solution, I'm not coming here with the answers, and I wish I could, but just coming here and asking for people to start looking for solutions. Thank you.
Just on that comment, Terry, if it's okay, you and I can sit down and we can brainstorm, particularly the community that she's referencing, and perhaps come back with some solutions at our work session later this month. Okay. I think we should have.
I just also want to remind people, we have a very large community. We have not just one problem, not one area we have speeding. And so if we're going to look at this community, we should look at the whole township, make sure we're not missing any areas. I mean, that's the challenge is, people speed on my street, they speed on the street next to me, and the next one next to that, and the one next to that, and the one next to that, and I don't think there's anybody in this room where people don't speed. So let's take a comprehensive, I'm using that word again, comprehensive look at the whole community, and we can consider what we need to do to make it safer everywhere. And I'd like to fully engage our police force. I think they have a good handle on what our issues are with speeding, and get some suggestions from them as well on what areas should be focused on and what we can do to improve the situation.
Okay. Scott?
Scott McCobble, 102 Mike Road. I don't know if there's any grants that can help with this or not, but long as it was
What was your last name?
LaCava, L-A-C-A-V-O. When you come down Zieglersville Road, I don't know if, like I said, if it's help or not, but improvement or sites. You play dodge can with the trash cans when they have a windstorm. Is there some way, I know those little plots of land belong to the townhouses with them. They put their trash cans out to on the other side of the curbs. Is there some way that we can, as a township, put a blind system that they can secure the trash can? Everybody has one in the front, that you don't have to play dodge can in the morning when you're driving to work in a windstorm. You get the trash that spews all out, this would secure it, and maybe the developer will help pay for something like that, because it's going to help them out selling their houses. Because when you come down through there, sometimes, I don't know if you see it during trash day.
I seen it with the windstorm the other day.
It's like trash can,
It was everywhere. Not just here, this-
Oh, it's not just here. I know. Well, here, actually, it was more so if you see the other side of the street.
And
But is there, you know what I mean, is we're trying to improve everything. We're trying to do the park system. We're trying to improve everything. And here we got Zieglersville Road that I could see. I'm down in Northeast Philly all the time. I see the same thing. We can put blinds. There is enough ground there to put blinds out there. And you could keep them at this height of the trash cans where you're not impeding the kids who will, they run for a ball or something. Because you still have the trash cans there. And then it helps out the residents too. It gives them a place to put it. They don't have to worry about moving their trash cans all over the place or in a windstorm looking for the trash can. I don't know.
Well, again, the challenge is, during those windstorms, trash cans are in the street everywhere. So-
Yeah, I'm not saying that. This is for the last 20 years. You know what I mean? It's 20 years.
The problem with that is each one of those residents have to build their own. We can't make them.
No, you can't make them, but maybe as a township, because you can we get some money together for grants or something for improvements, and you put, I know they own that little piece of land that's in front of them too. They can do anything within reason that they want for it because it's next to the road. But maybe they can put two together in each spot or something. And maybe, like I said, maybe the developer will help with that because it's going to help them out selling their
It
houses.
sounds great.
It's
The
right fine.
only thing is then you gotta watch for site distance. If it fits in for site distance. I see your point. Thank you. Bob?
Bob Burns, Riverville Road. Now that the minutes have been passed, I think I asked Tommy at the last meeting when he would be putting up the sign on Goshen that you guys had passed a resolution for no parking. And I showed Chuck the social media on Facebook where somebody took a picture of a pickup truck that's constantly parking in that area. I did stop and see the homeowner, and I forwarded to her Terry Fedorchak and Chuck Leidig's information so she could reach out to them. But she knows in the next week or two that those signs will probably be put up and that she won't be able to park there or anybody else for that matter. The township's also said on the opposite side, coming out of Goshen to Zieglerville, that there's a requirement, which we all know when we took our driver's license, that you can't park so many feet to the corner. Obviously, people are parking right up to the corner still. It hasn't been as bad in the last month or so, but one day last week, they were all the way out to the radius on the corner. So I think it might be prudent to put a sign up that says no parking here at the corner, even though, as you stated before, Terry, it's part of your driver's license, you should know that. So, and I believe Carol had mentioned in front of the second and third townhouse building on Zieglerville that there was a possibility of getting 6 parking stalls in. That you guys have not looked at. And when I asked Carol about the first townhouse building, she said you guys hadn't directed her to look at that, but her recollection was that there wasn't site clearance there. So is it possible to have Carol look at that?
I think we can, Carol.
Well, we talked about some parking coming out of Goshen Road. We talked about the feasibility of putting parking spaces in certain locations on the right side. They'd have to be carefully striped and signed so that they don't cause site obstructions. On the left side, my recollection is in the initial look, that if we put parking on that side of Zieglerville Road, that it would cause a site distance problem for either people coming out of Goshen or people coming out of that parking area. So what Bob was asking is if I would take a look at that again to affirm whether or not that's the case. And if the board wishes me to do that, I certainly will, but I don't know if the board's inclined to support parking along Zieglerville Road at all at this point because of the additional cost of painting and signage and monitoring that to meet these distances.
It's not that we want to address this issue once. I mean, explore the challenges, so we can get it.
I think we need to get feedback from the residents, and I'm happy to talk to the residents that live there.
But that will change the line of sight issues.
That's correct.
And Carol stated, we've explored this before, and our issues with the spaces. The issues are still there.
I was told by Carol that she did not do a site distance on that first building. Did you, Carol? Because if you did, maybe I misunderstood.
What I did is I did an evaluation on eliminating parking on the one side. Concurrent with that evaluation, I had looked at whether or not it was feasible to park in the decel or accel lanes, we'll call them, on Zieglerville Road. My recollection